There we go. We're alive. Awesome. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. How we doing? Let me get all the alerts out here. Change the thumbnail to the live. As I said yesterday, we will have Andre joining us today, as well as James. So you guys will get some direct input from the Edgeful CEO. Excuse me. Okay, that's all set. Awesome. The IB did me real dirty yesterday. Very dirty. We're going to go back to Lucid for today. And one more little alert to get out. All right. Good morning, guys. What's going on? Good to be here early for a change. What's going on, Dogopedia? Good morning. Happy to have you here, Robert. Are you saying you're usually not able to get in early on the stream? Okay, let's get the schedule out. All right, we're going to have some giveaways today as well, so make sure you guys stick around for the whole stream. Andre will be on... No, it should be the right one. Andre will be on for the giveaways throughout the stream. Good morning, everyone. Tradevid, good morning. Rebo, good morning. Sasso. Patrick, good morning. Sasso, Rebo, in case you guys didn't hear me. Good morning. March 4th. This year is cruising along. Good morning, Mirar. Pat, good morning. Lonnie. Yeah, I'll explain the gap fill here in a minute. We do have a pretty good chance for one today, so we'll actually be able to use it. And I have a little bit of an embarrassing statement. I accidentally, obviously it's never on purpose, but I accidentally blew my my funded futures accounts yesterday. My funded accounts. No matter, we'll be trading on Lucid for today. Yeah, it was a little sad. I picked the wrong day to size up, first off, and I got a little tunnel vision by how long of a win streak we were on for the IB. But we also, I mean, it was just stupid of me to do that yesterday. I was break even for a little bit when it went to 596.97. It's because I kept adding on the way up, not expecting it to go and break the high, and then it did, and then it kept pushing up for the rest of the day. Yeah, it was just a bad outcome. And then I ended up having like $400 in drawdown left, so I was like, whatever, I'll take a go at longs, and of course, It dips right at 12:45 before it ripped up another 200 points. I would have been fine, but it is what it is. I squeezed 2 payouts out of him at least. Rod, good morning. Julian, good morning. Pip T, good morning. What's going on, Simon? Tris, good morning. It's my first blown set for a while too, which I guess feels it doesn't feel good, but at least it's the frequency at which I blew him is gone. I almost tilted as well. I missed the whole downside move because I oversized. Yeah, it was a little upsetting, especially because we had a trade that was up $100 and I didn't secure it, and that should have been my trade for the day. I would have been sitting at 200 and done for the day, but it is what it is. I probably wouldn't have gone over and traded Lucid, and then I wouldn't have almost these accounts. I'm going to talk about them today. They made the pro accounts even better. So I could technically take a payout from these tomorrow if I wanted to. I would have to make another, for consistency's sake, I have to make like another 1,300. But anyway, let's get right into the data for today. So we have, first thing we're going to look at is gap fill by size. We're in the third bracket on Qs. We have a very slim chance of filling the gap down. We have a 65% chance that this does not get filled. We have a 0.54 gap up right now. So it's well over that 0.4, which is where it needs to hold over to be in that third bracket. If it drops down to 0.2 to 0.39, then we're kind of switching our bias up completely. Same for SPY. 2 SPY's at 0.3, so it's a little less likely that it gets a gap fill down. This one's 65% that does fill the gap. So we'll see which one of these is going to be telling the truth today. That gap, you can find it in the bottom right corner. It says $3.36. We're gapped up 0.56%. And then going over to yesterday's price, we have a pretty massive previous day's range, and we're still opening outside of it, which is shocking. This was just a sad IB. This was a sad, sad day for the IB. If it was going to be due a loss, I guess it had to have happened with a move like that. We missed the IB low by 9 cents on Qs. We missed the IB low by 4 cents on SPY. And then we went all the way and ran 340 points to the upside, broke the IB high, hit 600, which I kind of was looking for. I just didn't expect us to go all the way up there. After the IB low barely got missed. And then we ended up continuing up for the entire day, all the way up to 604, just about. It's a pretty rough day for the IB. Done with 265 per account. Talking about some stocks on my watch list. Usually gaps up are filled for today, so I expect more downside at some point. Yeah, the volatility has been nuts too. I wouldn't expect us filling this just off volatility alone. If we can get SPY over, which is it's very close right now, if we can get this over 0.4%, then we're good. Yes, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning, Kevin. SS, good morning. Rain, good morning. What's going on, Bear? Good morning. John, how you doing? Did I take the Globex IB last night? Yeah, how many of you guys in the stream today took it last night? I bet you probably did, Bear. Rolo is sound asleep, so no. Samir, what's going on? Oh man. Rebo, you took it? Nice. So yes, I took that IB last night on MNQ right here. I took it with 4 MNQ. First entry was limit filled, finally with no slippage too, right at 50% of the IB. And then I add a second lot at 25% of the IB. So my total risk on this trade was $300 and I made $453. The low form first at 24,668, the high form second at 24,760. It was pretty much all within that first opening candle as well. I did not take it on MES because MES yet again had a very tiny range for the IB. If I can go and find it here. Where is that 6 o'clock move? MES had a very, very small range. So the smaller the range, I don't really like taking it on MES because it's more susceptible to having a pivot like it almost did last night. So we had the low form first, 6805. We had the high form at 6823. So the entire range from midpoint was less than 12 points. It missed the IB low by 1 point and then went and took the IB high. As soon as it took the IB high, then we rejected right back down. Either way, these both came out to be wins. And I do check MES because they need to be lining up for me to take the trade. Again, $300 risk, $450 reward on this, and then it ended up going all the way up to 24.8. But yes, that was the trade that I took last night. This was a beautiful move on the Globex IB. Probably will not be taking it tonight because if we go over to MNQ, I finally figured out how to get the data for it. If we go over to MNQ for the IB by rejection, this is what we're looking at for Wednesday's stats, which I believe is tonight's Globex because it says 6 to 5 p.m. ET. So this should be Thursday would be Thursday's Globex, and then Friday, obviously there's no Globex to trade because the market closes on Saturday. Or closes at 6 o'clock on Friday. So these stats for tonight's Globex IB, I will probably not be taking it. Looks like Wednesdays are the worst days to take it. So we can just avoid that entirely. I'm going to monitor it, but I'm going to make sure that I don't take a trade on it like I did last night. And then going over to Tuesdays as well. We can go to customize here, go to Tuesday for Globex IB. Tuesdays had a very high percent win rate for the low forming first. We had a 77% chance of going and taking the high last night, which is why I went and took the high with some size. I was okay with going in with 4. It was also a 50-point range. So again, $200 risk with that one entry. It was $100 per MNQ. So $200 to start, and then I entered more at 25%. Increase the risk by 100, increase the reward by 200. So it was a-okay with that position. And then going over to MES, this one doesn't really have that good of stats for it, so we don't really need to dive too deep into it. We just need to make sure that Qs and SPY are lined up. MES, it's still good, but it's not as good as MNQ. MNQ, I liked playing a lot better. I like playing that stock a lot better, or that asset. What's going on, Journey? Good morning. Globex IB is goated. It is doing very well, but just make sure that you understand that the data for tonight's not really that good. So if you're looking to take that Globex IB for tonight, get off Tuesday, please. Go back to Wednesday. If you're looking to take it for tonight, just be cautious because these aren't really, it's a 50-50 chance if the high forms first, and then pretty much a 50-50 if the low forms first for the break to be a high. Do you usually add at 25%? No, not usually. You prefer Lucid Flex or Lucid 25K? So I'm going to talk about that here in a minute. These 25K pros for Lucid got even better somehow. They took all the qualities. So they got rid of the Lucid Black accounts. I don't know how many of you guys traded that. They took all the qualities from the Lucid Black and put them into the Lucid Pro. So it's now 3 days to pay out from when you fund it. So instead of being 5 days, 5 $50 days, 3 days with no minimum profit requirement. Let me pull up my dashboard here. I'll show you what the new dashboard looks like for those Lucid 25K pros. So all you need, $250 profit target. You don't need to hit $50 a day. You don't need $100 a day. You don't need $150, whatever it is. and then 40% consistency. That's it. So I need to make another 1,494, and then I can take a $5,000 payout, 1,000 over 5 accounts. And you guys ready for the kicker on this? Your second payout on the 25K pros is 1,500, which is why I aimed for such a large day in the first profit day. You can take in 6 trading days. If you trade well enough, in 6 trading days, you can take $12,500 from a $450 spend, because they increased the price. That was the trade off. They increased the price to $90, but in 6 trading days, you can take 12,500 out, and that is from starting your eval as well, because you can instantly activate it and trade on the funded within the same day. So 12,500 by your second payout. Your third payout would be 20,000. That's in 9 trading days. You could take 20,000 out from a $450 purchase on 5 accounts. Andre's going to be on the stream today, Grub. So those questions we can divert to him. He'll be on in about 15 minutes. And remember, we're going to be doing some giveaways today as well. We have 5 1-month subscriptions to give away to Edgeful. What time did I enter last night? I took the IB. I wish it was a little easier to go and see on here, but it's not. Let's go down to the 1 minute. I think I took it at like 9, not 9:50. What am I saying? 6:50 last night. 6:45, and then 7:01, and that was the overall move right there in the 1 minute. So I got limit filled. Part of the reason I got filled so early was because I didn't expect it to go down and wick to my limit order. I would have gotten filled at 6:59 anyway, so it was fine there. Yeah, I didn't intend on getting it at 6:45. I did get in a little early last night, but either way, I would have been filled at 6:59 or 6:45. I ended up getting filled at 6:45. Won't use Thursday night for 6 p.m. data. We'll see. I definitely could have it wrong. The reason I think Thursday is tomorrow, obviously, and then for Friday's data, because it says 6 p.m. that the time frame is 6 p.m. to 5 p.m. That being said, and there, yeah, so I did have the right time. It's Wednesday. We don't need to ask Andre. 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. is the IB time. So that's not fast forwarding a day. We had the right one. So this will be Thursday. Tomorrow, this will be tomorrow's Globex, and then Friday doesn't have one. So if we highlight Friday, there shouldn't be any data for this. That's not right. Maybe this is the one that goes into Sunday. It says 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. ET, so that should be. Well, I'll ask Andre when he gets on here. I'm a little confused. Friday is the one that happens Thursday night. Okay. For someone like me that I'm new with accounts, do you recommend Lucid? Should I buy more than one account? I prefer getting more than one account because they're a one-time purchase, and they're usually. I like to copy trade 5. You don't have to. It increases what you're trading with and what your payout size will be, but you can definitely just go and get one account and trade on that. All right, skipping back to the chart here real quick. We do have 13 minutes to open, 12 minutes to open. We're currently gapped at 0.56 on Qs and 0.33 on SPY. I'd like to see SPY get over for the gap fill by size. I want to see this get over 0.4, because then that means SPY and Qs line up for not filling the gap. Right now, SPY has a 65% chance of filling the gap. Qs has a 65% chance of not filling the gap. So these two are countered at the moment. So when I asked Edgeful AI, it said to use 6 p.m. to 9:30 for Globex custom session. Okay. Again, guys, Andre will be on here in 12 minutes, so we'll get the correct answer from him shortly. Unfortunately, the IB did us dirty yesterday. Yes, this one was disgusting. On the good note, though, that there is a good note from losing. This was a 9.8% outcome yesterday. So the chance of this day happening, the chance of the IB not breaking the low, missing the low by 9 cents, and then going and taking the IB high, which was a 340-point move to the upside. It was a $7 move straight up. That was a 9.8% outcome, which was sad. How long do you wait until you will take it? For what, Maggie? Are there stats for IB reversal like what happened yesterday? There's no stats for it. There's stats on how rare it is, though. And Andre got that from asking Edgeful AI. So you can go into. I'm not very good at asking the scripts. Where's the AI on here? Edgeful AI right here. So you can go in here and say, on a day like 0303, Tuesday 0303, how, or we'll do, what are the odds that QQQ would form the IB high first and push 300 plus points to break the IB high. Let's see if I worded that correctly. So once this all loads, it should be about a 9.8%. What are the stats? Pounds. See, I'm not very good at scripting AI, so you guys will just have to take my word for it. Actually, I'll just pull up. I don't want to do that. I'll just pull up what Andre put on. So we go over to his profile. He made this post yesterday. So what NQ did today only happens 9.8% of the time. Here's the stats for it. So IB high formed first plus red opening candle. We were bearish for that bias. First break was IB high. First break was not IB high. 90.2% of the time, we should have broken the IB low yesterday. 9.8% of the time. 5 out of 51 outcomes. 9.8% of the time, we failed, which did happen yesterday. You have to click on analyze report first. Or is that? Sorry, I'm not very. This is probably a bad example. Analyze reports. There we go. Sorry. Okay, initial balance report. Buy rejection. That's not the one I want. You have to add an analyze report button in the bottom. Yeah, you guys are better at this than me. I'm not very good at using AI. There was also news right after the IB formed. It was just unlucky. That's all. There's not really much we could have done about that yesterday. especially if it had gone and broken the low, we wouldn't have anticipated that move up at all. But it avoided a double break by not breaking the low and invalidating the IB high. I'll have Andre do it. I don't like AI stuff. An old head. Yeah, you have to ask it again. I'm probably falling so far behind by not using AI, but hopefully my use of trading outweighs that. I did just see yesterday there was a viral post for a trade that some college kid made. College kid that was also a fund manager. He bought a whole bunch of AI stuff like 3 to 12 months ago, or less than 12 months ago. And he's up. He turned like $250 million into $5 billion in the past 12 months off of AI. And his main purchase was BE, Bloom Energy, which has transferable or transportable energy. I can move windmills and use that for producing energy. I don't like AI stuff. I don't like prompting it or scripting it. 250 million to 5 billion. If I said million, my bad. What's going on, John? Good morning. Justin, El Supremo, EB, Bullnuts, good morning. Steve, how you doing? Sorry about your payout, Steve. I can't believe they looked at your sport ticket, saw it, didn't respond to it, and then closed it. Okay, Nico, let's see. Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully they do. 25K probably. No, it was the actual tweet was 200 million or 250 million to 5 billion. Bloom Energy and who's that? Those John Mikes. I got it.
Yo.
Hey, good morning.
What's up, dude? Sorry I'm late. I've been trying to test something and it's kind of complicated.
No worries.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, good. Rapid Eye said, you don't use the above or below the midpoint. Stats drop a lot while we look for a long or above. I mean, I don't use it. I think it's just an added thing that I don't have data myself on. So I should probably start using it. But yesterday it wouldn't have worked anyway. Yesterday we opened way below the midpoint and still went and broke the high. Same with that Globex trade last night. We were below the midpoint and still went and took the high.
Yeah, that was actually a request of like where it's a custom filter for anyone who doesn't know what he's talking about. It's pretty much just a custom filter that measures where does the IB close. Like where is the 1030 price? Is it above the IB midpoint or is it below the IB midpoint? And pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
You see this comment
here? Yeah, that's Bob. He hasn't let that stream go from like 2 months ago.
Yeah, exactly. So pretty much measuring where does price close relative to the IB and the IB range. So if it's above, how does that impact the stats? If it's below, how does it impact the stats? But hopefully we have a good day today.
I was trying to work with the AI there. I'm not very good at using AI, so I couldn't figure out how to script it. But I was pointing out that the script you used from yesterday had a 9.8% outcome that we went and broke the IB high.
Yeah.
Yesterday was just terribly unlucky. Not really much we could have done about that.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. That's part of the deal. Like when you see something that's 90%, the other side of that is 10% of the time it doesn't work. And like yesterday was one of the 10%. Like that's just, as long as you don't torture your account on those days, like you're good.
I may or may not have.
Yeah, but the Glove XIB paid for it, so it's good.
It did. NQ asked, how's the giveaway going to work today? So we do have 5 of those 5.
That's actually what I want to test. So just one quick question before I answer that. I do see a question here. Can we give API access? We are currently working on it. We're actually going to build a waitlist page so we can give pretty much like access to people based on the waitlist page. So if you guys are interested, in an API, please let us know in the support. So Zinc, if you can just click on the little support button on the bottom right.
Yep.
Please, guys, let us know in the chat. You can just go if you go to the one more to the left. There you go. If you guys click on ask a question, please let us know in the chat. He sounds like Obama. That's hilarious. That you want the API access, I'm curious how you guys would use it. It's going to help us kind of curate how we set it up. So please, if you guys are interested to connect your AI agents to Edgeful, please let us know in the chat how that's going to work. All right. So I will touch on, there are a lot of questions here, but I will touch on the giveaway for a second. We're going to test it live. So hopefully this works. I'm not sure if it's going to, but we're going to figure it out for the first time. The reason we can't test it otherwise is because we need people in here to do this, but apparently I need to share a specific tab that I have. And can you guys just, I know I just torched the screen, but just in the comments, and this only works on YouTube for now, just comment Edgeful TV on YouTube on the stream. This is very clunky, so just bear with me for a second. Comment Edgeful TV in the chat on YouTube so we can get some tests going here. All right, thank you guys. One word Edgeful TV. One word Edgeful TV. One word Edgeful TV.
There we go.
There we go. Is it working? Okay, we do have people coming in now. The issue is the visibility is just destroyed. So I might not share this screen. I believe it'll still work. So I'm going to pull Zinc's stream back up, and I'm still going to test. Okay, so it's still working. Like we're still gathering all the names, all the people who are entering the giveaway right now. It is working, which is great. But the only issue is I can't share my screen otherwise. By the way, the market did open, by the way. I just, not to kind of hijack this.
We'll have to take your word for it.
I mean, we'll swap back and forth. I don't want people to have to take my word for it, but we'll like swap back and forth on this. But I'm just gonna make this a little bit bigger, so when we do swap back and forth, it is a little bit better than.
Yeah, it kind of stinks, Bear, that we didn't get that retrace to London 50 there. We do have a small issue with SPY and Qs right now. One of them is wrong. The other one's correct. So we had a gap of 0.43 on Qs, I believe. I might have been a little delayed to it. Gap fill by size. So yeah, 0.4 to 0.69 on Qs still. So we have a 65% chance that does not fill. And then for SPY, we have an 80% chance that the gap does fill because it gapped down, or it was only gapped at 0.19%. So one of these is telling the truth. The other one is false. I would like to see maybe SPY just goes and wicks down to 680 yesterday's close and then pops right back up. But this might put a little wrench in trading the IB. They all, oh, that looks a lot better. Much better. So most of them had questions regarding the Globex IB, which has been doing phenomenally well. For the data that you get for the Globex IB, do you go to the day that Globex is technically counting towards? So
the way that the weekdays work,
go for it,
on Edgeful is if there is an so let's just say Monday and Tuesday, right? Let's say you pick a session that's from Monday night till Tuesday morning.
Yep.
We will always, the weekday in Edgeful is always based on the end time of the session. So if you go from 6 p.m. to 9 a.m., because the end of the session is at 9 a.m. on Tuesday morning, that day counts as Tuesday. Okay. We pull it forward. Okay. So just so everyone knows, that's the way that it works. So if you do even from 8 p.m. to 1 a.m., so 8 p.m. Monday, 1 a.m. Tuesday, even though it's only 1 hour, that day's going to count for Tuesday. So we're always pulling it forward. We take the last candle of the session, we check the weekday that is, and then we attribute the entire price action to the weekday where the session ends. Okay. So just be really mindful of that.
So for tonight's Globex IB, it will be looking at Thursday stats.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
There you go, everyone. I told you he'd go with the right answer. I was wrong about that. I thought that Wednesday worked fine because it said 6 to 7, but
yeah. Well, that's the IB time. So if you let me just check.
It says 6 to 5 for the
exactly.
daily.
Yeah. So and either way, if you do 6 to 5 p.m. or if you do 6 to 5 p.m. or you do 6 to 9:30 or whatever it is, if it's an overnight session, if it crosses midnight Eastern time, you're now in the territory of the following day. And just so everyone's clear, whenever you're creating a custom session, so let me just pull up my screen one second.
Yeah, go for it. So last name was 50-50. We don't need to talk about that, Bob.
All right, let me just do something quick. And all right, let's look at yesterday.
Almost getting the gap phone spy now, by the way.
Share screen, share entire screen. All right, you guys can see this?
Yep.
Right? All right, cool. So we have the New York session here, right? This is from 9:30. I'll zoom in a little bit. This is from 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern time. So that is my entire New York session. That's what I have selected here, right? Now, if you were to say, I only want to look at the IB session, and then you created a custom session that was from 9:30 to 10:30, this would be the wrong way to do it, because if you look here for a second, this would be the wrong way to do it. And I just need to pick this session. The reason it would be wrong is because your entire session would be the length of the IB.
Yep.
So if I do this, this is what you would actually be looking at inside of Edgeful, right? This would be your New York session, which is obviously not gonna, like there's no break because your IB and your New York session end at the same time. So whenever you guys want to experiment with different overnight sessions or shorter sessions or whatever else, what you want to do, let's just say you're not going to trade the rest of the day, right? Let's just say you want to end your session at noon and you only want to know the IB stats, but you only want to end them at noon Eastern time. This is going to be the price action you're looking at. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to create a custom session. I'm going to change this to be noon. Right over here. Short New York. It's just a shorter New York session. Click save. Select this session here. And okay. Let me just do this. All right. So if you pick a shorter New York session, right, that ends at noon, these are the stats that you're going to get. So in this case, we are pulling forward the end of the session. Much more likely what will happen is the double breaks will come down because it's probably a lot less likely that price will have the time to break one side and then the other side. Yep. So I hope that makes sense. So when you guys are looking at Globex, you can't set the session to the GlobeX time because you're not giving it the rest of the session to breathe. So the IB report will take care of setting the IB, and then the session time is everything after the IB pretty much. I hope that makes sense. I'll pull up Zinc Stream again.
Yeah, I was wrong about that.
Yeah, which is fine. I mean, like it's there's a lot to juggle, but yeah.
I had someone reach out on Twitter last night because I put 2 PDFs out for the IB for GlobeX in New York, and he was like, I backtested this over 5 years. It has a 30% win rate with a X amount of losing trades on it.
Yeah, I mean, you're always going to get that.
Yeah, I get that. Like anytime I put out anything remotely close to that.
Dude, you can give out like literally the most valuable free content, and everyone will, like, someone always will complain. Like no matter what happens, like there will always be people that complain. Like it's never enough. But that's the internet for you, unfortunately.
If you guys have already commented Edgeful TV on the YouTube stream, you're already entered.
Yeah,
please refrain from typing it multiple times.
Yeah, just so you guys know, it's 1 entry per person, so you're not going to get any more entries by commenting more. Just FYI, I will pull back up the piece here. I just want to, just so you guys can see it. So the unfortunate piece about this, Chrome tab. Okay, so this, I need to figure out how we can overlay this like frame on our streams, like as a second thing, like a second overlay. At the moment, this is the first time we've tested it, so just keep that in mind. We'll figure out how to make this process a little bit more smooth, but this is, I just want to show you guys that it is running, and at the end of the hour on the top right, it is going to automatically select people. We'll see how it works, but this is how we're going to do it for now. It will get better, I promise.
All right, we did just get the gap fill, I believe. Just about there. Had to have just gotten it. 4 cents off. Missed the gap fill by 4 cents.
On ES, it filled.
SPY should go and take it right now. Or not. 680.33. Maybe I missed it. And yesterday's close was 680.29. So it missed it by 4 cents. Qs, at least they're lining up for the IB high forming first, I think.
Yeah.
No, Q still has the IB low form first.
I think, yeah, NQ also.
If we can get a little wick down, then that'd be great. I don't really want to. It's not looking too good for you yet, Andre.
Dude, I know. If I screw this stream up, people are going to be pissed. They're going to be like, get him off the stream.
It might be a little bad luck. Yeah, so yesterday, I mean, not really. I've talked about it quite a bit already, but I've noticed that the days that it misses the IB low by a microscopic amount, yesterday was 9 cents that it missed by. The fact that we even had a 340-point reversal on NQ off of that was insane enough, but maybe there's a metric that if it comes within, I mean, that had to have been like 92% of the IB, 95% of the IB was taken, and then it went and took the high of that level.
Yeah, what happened yesterday was like a complete anomaly, which is fine, but it's a complete anomaly. So God, there's so many people commenting here. I'm trying to read the comments. Just give me 1 second. But yeah, yes, what happened yesterday was a complete anomaly. Like, it's just part of the deal. Like, even something could be 90% and it's still not going to work on 10% of the days.
And you can sit there for the rest of the day trying to figure out where you went wrong. It's just a rare outcome.
Yeah.
So we did have SPY just filled the gap. Qs also just took a new IB low, so they're lined up to target the down. No, never mind. Qs still missed it by 6 cents. We missed the IB low by 6 cents. Hopefully it goes and takes a new one because I don't want to take longs on.
We still have so much time. Yeah, we have time for it to go.
But I also I've been enjoying using that opening candle continuation, and the opening candle on SPY is red. Qs is green right now. So I'd like them to line up there at least. Was oversold after a 750 point drop. That it was.
Yeah. I'm going to try to add a banner here. Give me 1 second.
All right. We should have a stat about the failed auction and which level's the target. I think that's another metric in itself as well. Been doing really good by using IB in your views, Nick. Awesome. Third day in a row for greater than 0.5% orb range. No algo today. That's unfortunate.
Yeah. The big orb ranges are always sketchy for me. I'm not too big of a fan of that. Because then it just widens all your stops, it widens all your targets, it widens everything else. I'm not too big of a fan of that. But let me just get this banner up.
There's for what you just said, Moon and Andre as well, there's not really much you can do when the VIX is trading. It's trading at, granted I am delayed on it, but it's trading at 22 right now. It was all the way up at 29 yesterday. Mm-hmm. And exactly what I said on stream as well. Luckily we didn't chase the IB low. So it was, I think the example from yesterday was 29.4 or 24.4, sorry, not 29.4. If you even have a 50-50 point stop loss, so 50 point reward, 50 point stop loss, you will more than likely get wicked out at your 50 point stop loss with how high the VIX is.
Yeah. Also, new low on the NQ.
There we go.
Yeah.
You're redeemed. We can be friends again.
Yeah.
Something else I want to add in as well. So I do get affiliate emails from Tradeify and Lucid and My Fund of Futures, really any affiliate that people go and reset accounts on. Yesterday had, and granted I'm just a small sample size, but yesterday had about probably 32 resets, 40 resets over those two accounts. So it was a big day for people to struggle. And then, last night too, someone ended up resetting 10 times. But if you're finding yourself getting into that situation where you cannot stop resetting the accounts, you just take a step. You don't need to pass it right away, but you're definitely oversizing in that case.
Something that I think you've done such a good job about is talking about size. And I know some people don't love to hear this, but you should not be able to blow an account in 1 or 2 days. It just means that you're risking too much. Yes, you can, obviously you can pass evals a lot faster, but it's not really that consistent to do that. It just makes it so much harder. And it's too high risk in my opinion. And there's nobody that talks about this more that I've seen of pushing 1 to 3 micros, 5 micros, whatever, and then zinc. And I just think it's such an important message, especially if you're not consistent.
Thank you.
God, I wish that I could make this banner smaller.
Could try to make it one line.
Yeah.
Immediate reversal right back to that high now. Halfway there. It's still got plenty of room, but Qs is definitely a lot stronger today. And that is all stemming from that gap fill report. We did just get the outside day reversal as well. So we took out previous day's high on both SPY and Qs. SPY actually opened within yesterday's range and wicked out of it. So yet again, another measure that they're countering each other on today.
We have ISM. So there was PMI at 945. That probably is what caused that reversal.
Yep.
There's ISM at 10. So just keep that in mind, guys. Like, you don't want to get wicked out here. I mean, I don't really hate the shorts in this area. That kind of pre-market zone seems to have rejected off of the midpoint of the orb. I don't really hate the shorts right now.
VIX is still way up there, my lord.
Yeah. And ES is significantly weaker than NQ too.
Yeah, much weaker.
Yeah. God, I wish I could make this.
So we peaked up at 28.15 on the delayed VIX. I think the other one hit 29.50 is what I may have seen yesterday. Still, anytime the VIX is over 17, you kind of have to completely change the way that you're trading. And I should have taken that lesson yesterday, but you know what? Great lesson to have that the IB is still able to lose. I was on such a long win streak with it, especially with the Globex IB too. And I was talking about this with Dan Cook. Tuesdays were the best day for the IB across the board for every stat or every index. So yesterday was, and that's backed us over 5 years too. It was like an 82% chance that we went and took out the right level, and it didn't. But today it's hopefully the low forms first. I'd rather go and take the low into the high. The high, and actually, if you remember that stream, we talked about inversing it a while ago. I did end up inversing it last Wednesday, or two Wednesdays ago when the high formed first, and it reset it back down to 83. It was at 91. It went down to 83.
Yeah.
But it's measuring one loss for the past 12 outcomes.
Do you like looking at 6 months, or do you ever go down lower?
I think 6 months is perfect. I never go to 3 or 1.
Yeah,
I think 6 months gives the best measure for what the current market condition is.
I agree.
So I don't, and this is why I laugh when people are like, "Oh, I backtested this for 3 years, and this is what the outcome is." Think of all the things that change over the course of even the past 3 months, the past 6 months. And even if it's not in the market, think of all the things that change personally from person to person, like what you eat or what you ate 6 months ago, what your gym habits were, what you did a couple of months ago is completely different than what you're doing now. So the fact that you have people that go and back test something out 3-5 years, the market was, I always refer to this, we've gone through quad witching who knows how many times. But we had quantitative tightening into quantitative easing, and now we're back, or sorry, other way. Quantitative easing into quantitative tightening for the past like 2.5 years, back into quantitative easing now.
Yep.
3 completely different market cycles.
Yep.
Completely different metric for how you would trade anything. The VIX is trading at 23. You have so many different data points and variables. There's no reason to backtest over a year, I'd say. So you want how the market is trading currently, not how the market was trading when you weren't even part of the market.
Yeah. So one of the other examples that I like to give is if you insist on back testing for 2, 3, 5, 10 years, this is the example that I like to say, and I'm sure a lot of you have heard it a bunch, but imagine a hedge fund in January of 2020 creates a strategy and they let it run completely untouched for 5 years. That means they don't change their risk, they don't change their targets, they don't adapt to the market, they don't adapt to the VIX, they don't adapt to any of the macroeconomic conditions. They just let it run for 5 straight years. I guarantee you, there is not a single institution on the planet that has done that. And if they have zero money left, because you cannot do that. It just doesn't work. The markets are too dynamic. And if you backtest over a 5-year period, that is exactly what you're assuming. I want to know how this exact strategy performed over the last 5 years. That's exactly what you're doing when you look back that far. You need to look at snippets of that 5 years, and that's exactly why the default date range on Edgeful is 6 months, and I personally 6 months is my favorite as well. But yeah, it's just not a very logical, in my opinion. There's no right opinion, but in my opinion, it doesn't make sense.
No, it's not at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
My M&Q GAT flow algo and Trade demo executed.
I was just reading that,
but did not.
I was going to say, can you reach out to support on the Edgeful app, like the blue button on the bottom right? We'll definitely be able to help you there. We're not going to be able to help you here, but I just want to make sure that you get helped. So please reach out to the support on the Edgeful app. For anyone watching, I know you guys ask a lot of questions in here specific to, hey, like, how does this work? Or can you talk about this? That's great. But if there is a specific issue of like I don't have access to the trading view indicators, or there was like something with my algo, we're not going to be able to help you on the stream. So just make sure to reach out to support on the app. We will answer your questions probably in like 30 minutes, most likely a lot faster than that. But the best and most effective place to get help is definitely going to be in the support on the app, not in the Discord, not in the comments of the live streams. You can obviously always ask us questions, but like we're not going to be able to investigate this right now. So we want to be able to investigate it fully to give you the right answer, to help you. And we're not well suited to do that right now. So yeah.
We are making a run right back for that high right now on Qs, but SPY's not close to it. SPY's at the midpoint. I hate when they're not lining up.
I know. You know what? I'm going to actually test something out.
But pretty much every metric that we could have used, every one that I use anyway, the gap fill, inside bar versus outside bar. SPY was inside, Qs was outside.
Yep.
None of them lined up today. Sad. Sad day.
Dude, is it my fault again?
Yeah, it might be. Crude oil inventory at 1030. They're always off by several million, but my guess is that crude oil inventory will probably tank, because this is, if it's measuring it how it should have been measured prior to this Iranian stuff, will probably pull right back down to like 65, 64. I'm kind of on Qs right now. I'm kind of looking for that weekly open, the weekly high, 611. 609, sorry, not 611. 609.90. That's if we get a good ISM coming up. There must be a stat for Andre's success. Andre on stream and IB success.
Yeah, it's probably, I mean, when I'm on with Zinc, we're 0 for 1 right now, but hopefully today we're going to be 1 for 2.
Let me go and ask.
We'll climb back.
Edgeful AI, what are the odds that Andre on stream
ruins all the data?
3 minutes until the data, and then we can start looking for
something
to take here. But it might end up being a no trade today. I stop after 2 losses on the day, which is why I ended up getting whacked so bad yesterday, because I sized in. I had 3 micros on MNQ, and then I also had 2 MES. It was just stupid of me. But I got a little tunnel vision and didn't think the IB could lose as bad.
Especially with a red opening candle like that, dude. Like, I mean, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
To be honest.
I think one of the worst things you can do when a day like that happens is, and I saw this like crazy in free chat in the YouTube stream, how many people were quick to being like, oh, it's because we had 2 standard deviations to the downside, or we had we were overextended was the one that I saw the most. We were down 750 points, or we were down 800 points, or all the stuff that had it not lost yesterday, you wouldn't have even gone and looked at. But because it lost, you're trying to find a reason why it lost.
Yep.
And if you do find a reason, then it happens another day. And let's say the IB ends up winning. You either miss the trade or you inverse it, because this happened one time when it was a rare outcome.
Yep. I want to show you something actually that's pretty interesting.
Let's see it.
All right. So I put IB stats for NQ, IB stats for ES, and I asked, I'll make this a little bit bigger here. I asked, can you look at the high and low formed first for ES and NQ and check how often they differ, where one has high form first and the other has low form first, make a table for how often they align versus differ. So what you can see is that 86% of the time, ES and NQ will have either the high form first together on the same day or the low form first together on the same day. Only 17 times, or 13% of the time, are one of them with the high will form first and the other one the low will form first. So sitting out on a day where they're the opposite, like just to have that peace of mind to not FOMO into a trade, which is exactly what Zinc was just saying. Like, if this happens, I'm not going to take a trade. You're going to be fine because this only happens 13% of the time. Why would you take a trade where these major indices are diverging? Like 87% of the time, you're going to be able to take that trade, and that gives you more confidence. Like being able to sit out on these days is going to really help you.
Yeah. So that is, I'm glad that it's available on the Edgeful AI now. Yeah, I had no idea what the number was, but it's happened. Aside from like 3 weeks ago, where it happened almost every day, I haven't seen it happen since then, other than today.
This is the last 6 months.
They are still lined up right now.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, this is any of these questions that you guys have, I really encourage you. So one other thing is that Edgeful AI is fully available to anyone with an Edgeful sub. So it's not only in the algo plan, it's to anyone. So I really, really encourage you, when you have these types of questions, when you're like sitting watching your charts, and then you notice, by the way, there's 10 a.m., there's that data that ISM just came out. But
it's very close.
Ask it. Just ask it and see how it goes. Just see what it says, see what the data shows. So like for me, I mean, obviously I think today they're going to be pretty similar. I mean, they probably will align, but depending on how ES does right now. But this gives me a lot of peace of mind to say, hey, I'm not going to trade this day, assuming that today they differ. And then, because I know that 87% of the time, I am going to have that trade at least set up.
Yep. They're unless SPY goes and takes a new high in the next 30 minutes, they're not going to line up. We didn't do the giveaway yet. Journey, no.
Yeah. So we have 29 minutes until the giveaway is over. I'll just pull this up just because I don't want you guys to like take my word for it. I just want to. So we need to figure out how this is going to get laid out on the screen, like how we're going to overlay it. But this is supposed to be on the bottom right of the stream right now, but it's not. And the way that it works is like when one of you comments, it'll load it in here. Obviously, there's like probably going to be a slight delay, but everyone's getting fed into this. By the way, it's only on YouTube. So this is only for YouTube for now. We're going to figure out how to do it for everyone or for all the platforms, but for now it's only for YouTube. So for anyone who's doing the comments on Twitter or wherever else you're watching, it is not going to count. It's only going to count on YouTube, just to be totally transparent of how this works. Go to YouTube to do it. Unfortunately, this is what we have to work with at the moment.
Yeah, so if you're the one guy on Twitch, sorry.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to pull Zinc's screen back up.
So we did take a new IB high on Qs. We have not on SPY, which is a little unfortunate. Can it be considered a divergence between indices and the trade the weakest or strongest to the mean? No, because then you're adding in...
I'm going to get another coffee quick. I'll be right back.
All right. You're adding in another different metric. So if you try to pick and choose between which one of them is correct or weak or strong, I have noticed that the days that they diverge like this, like SPY will probably go and take the IB low and then either have a double break to the IB high or vice versa on Qs. We have no way of knowing that. We have no way of knowing which one's going to break first and then go back to the opposing side or which one's going to retrace to 50%. We just have to take it as we see it on any other day that we know that should work out really well. And today's not one of the days to put our foot on the gas. For the question on what's my best possible entry, there's no timing on the entry, really. We're just looking for it to get to the midpoint. So last night, great example of it, limit buy at 50% of the IB. That's our best entry. And then looking for it to continue to the direction that we want it to. In this case, it was the high. That's the best entry we can get because it makes it 1-to-1. If you guys have already commented Edgeful TV, you do not need to do it again. So Jangy, you only need to say it once. And everyone else is putting Edgeful TV multiple times. You only need to say it once. He'll be back in a minute, Pipty. I'll pin that question for him.
What a roller coaster of price action today. No feedback for Forex currency pairs. I did actually see that question. We got distracted before about the IB on Forex. So I remember the question that you actually had asked, PIP-T trading, was about accuracy around the IB and Forex. So there's actually no difference between the way that we calculate the IB for crypto, Forex stocks. There it is. It's all the historical data. There is no accuracy. It's exactly the same way. So if you see something on USD JPY that says like 85% or 78% or 75%, it is what it is. So it's not that one is better than the other, or like futures are better, or like this is better. The only thing is some instruments, like some tickers, are more driven by economic factors. For example, like, I mean, I've never traded oil, but like I'm assuming oil like has a lot more in more uncertain times, whatever geopolitical nonsense. I'm not going to get into that, but if there are more catalysts, that's going to impact the price action, obviously. So that's really important, because if you have a catalyst, it could very easily throw away the data. So the way that I always say it, I always try to think about Edgeful, and the way that I recommend using Edgeful is, in normal conditions, and normal will change. Specifically what I mean by normal is like no major headlines. If there is a headline, it will override any data, any algorithm, anything at all. A major headline will override that. If there is a tweet, if there is some geopolitical issues overseas, if there is like a surprise of whatever else, of like, I don't want to like go through a bunch of examples, but pretty much if there is a major catalyst that's going to move the market, the data of the IB is not going to be like, actually, price should double break today, or whatever it is. Yeah. So that's very important. So when you're trading Forex, I know some of the things are driven more by political or geopolitical or whatever else. So just keep that in mind. But overall, all of the reports are calculated the same across all the assets. So it is not, one is not more accurate than the other. They're all, the data is the data.
Bob said you'll have a 100% kibosh rate.
Yeah, it's just getting worse. This is not ideal so far, to be honest.
Kenneth and Atlay, to knock both your questions out. So Apex has yet to approve my payout or deny it. It's been 7 days now.
Right.
I requested last Wednesday. Steve's in the same boat. So Steve, he's actually in the live right now in the Discord. He opened a support ticket asking why his payout got denied. They saw his support ticket, never answered it, marked it as solid, and then closed the support ticket.
Crazy.
So I think you're requesting again tonight, Steve, right? I wouldn't use Apex with either something drastic has to change with them, or just don't even bother using them. Lucid, I've never had issues with. My funded futures, I haven't had any issues with. And my payouts have been less than a minute for both of them. Lucid's still my favorite because when you request the payout, it's in your bank account in a minute after you request it, which I don't know how they do, but it is. And especially with their new, so again, these accounts are a combination of the Pro and Lucid Black. You can get a $5,000 payout 3 days from buying your eval, which I think is probably one of the fastest ones for the industry right now. It's end of day drawdown, so there's no trailing intraday drawdown. It's 1,000 max. This is on the 25K account too. 1,000 max per account for your first payout, and then the second payout is 1,500. So you could get in 6 trading days, if you do really well, you can get 12,500 from them, which is really good for being $90 an account.
Yeah.
Almost making a new high, please.
Am I gonna have 100% kibosh rate? If ES makes a new high right now, we're 4 points away. I think we can do it in the next 20 minutes.
Bob, did you get that from what's his name? Steven Navorsky? That guy that streams with like 1,000,001 screens behind him. Kabooshed, I think is what he says. Stefan. Oh no, it's real close. It's still not. I mean, it's not that good of a IB today either way. Going on what Andre was just speaking about for your question, Pipsy. Most of us, and this is an honest question you guys can answer in chat. If you go and look at your stats, or Andre, you can answer this too. How long do you think you're in a trade on average for? So the longest you've held a trade, what do you think the overall, the longest you've held a trade versus the average time that you're in a trade, what do you think the time is there? If you had to guess.
For me?
Yeah.
I always try to close the trades at the end of the day. Probably like the longest is like 4 hours. For me, it's mostly when I sell options. It'll be a few hours because I'll wait until like 3 p.m. and usually I'll just close it at like 3 p.m. I try to enter options like credit spreads earlier, like maybe around like noon, maybe 1, and then close towards the end of the day. Usually even before that, if I
How
enter.
about the futures trades? If you're long or short on NDS,
probably like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Yep. It's not that long, for sure. It's not that long. So like 45 minutes is a long time for me.
Exactly. On average, and this is from prop data, the longest the futures trader will be in a trade for is about 12 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's for every futures trader there is. That's on the extreme. You have people that hold it for 8 hours. And then you also have people that are in and out trade in 10 seconds. So on average, you're in a trade for 12 minutes. There is no reason as futures traders we need to be trying to master reading what geopolitical conflict is going on. So we have, if you're trying to figure out, and this happened to me on Sunday, I had a whole bunch of people that were like, no way the Globex IB is going to work for longs because we just had Iran get bombed and XYZ. So this trade that I had on Sunday night, this Globex right here, we formed the low first, formed the high second. We had a perfect 50% retracement and then targeted the high for the break. Yes, afterwards it went down. We're not worried about that. We're worried about what the data is telling us and what the setup is. This one told us low form first, high form second. We're targeting the high break for the IB.
Yep.
50% retracement, target up. I don't care about geopolitical conflict going on. I don't care about news. I'm just trading the data that's on the chart and trading the chart itself. If we're in and out of trades in 15 minutes, the likelihood that we're going to get some significant geopolitical news that drops us 200 points. And first off, if that happens, then it's just a loss. But you don't need to be concerned about what kind of conflict or news, or I'm going to try to predict that Trump's going to bomb Iran in the next 20 minutes, so I'm not taking the IB today. So it's one, don't add in other variables that you don't have to. IB just doesn't care. It's truly good. And
yeah, that's true. One other thing I did our team did see a few messages come in for the API requests. Just as a reminder for anyone who's joining now, if you're interested in an Edgeful API for your AI agents, your OpenClaw, your Claude Code, your whatever else, please message the support in the bottom right of the Edgeful app and tell us, number one, that you're interested, and number two, what you would use it for, so we can craft the API properly. But yeah, I'm curious if you guys are interested. Please let us know, because that's important. Also, ES just made a new high, so
yeah, thank God
we got it today.
You're not off the leash yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
If this freaking closes right here at 10:29, closes 5 cents away and breaks the IB high, I'm haunted from yesterday. PTSD.
I am sure.
At least today's range isn't 340 points. That's going to reverse. This one is
the orb was still pretty big though today.
Yeah, like the VIX. We did just reject 25,000, so that's going to be a little bit of a hurdle to get through, but it's only a 200-point range today. And I can say only 200 points because, again, the VIX is trading at 22. Yesterday was almost 400 points, and Monday was like a 600-point swing back and forth today for fun. 24,474 up to 25,1, and then right back down to 25,3.
Dude, I want to show you something interesting.
What is that? Yesterday was terrible.
Yesterday was terrible. All right. So I asked, so for anyone who just joined, before I was asking Edgeful AI, so I loaded the IB report for NQ and for ES, and I said, I want to know how often, can you look at the high or low form first for ES and NQ, check how often they differ, where one has the high form first and the other has low form first, make a table, right? This is the important outcome. ES and NQ align on which side forms first 87% of the time. So then now, today, obviously, the low formed first on ES and NQ, so they're technically aligned today. So I was like, can you check the days where the low formed first and look how often the high broke first for both ES and NQ? So what we see here is that 73% of the time, when ES and NQ have the low formed first, the high is going to break first. So when they're both aligned, 73% of the time, they will break the high first together on that day. So really, you can ask any type of question you want. And one of the things that we added was an automatic follow-up question. Because I know some people, they will kind of, there's like, you kind of get stuck. You're like, what do I ask? I don't really know what to ask. First of all, ask it what you can ask it. Give me a list of 10 questions I can ask you. So like load in the IB data, be like, look at the IB data and tell me what 10 questions I can ask you, 5 questions I can ask you. And then after you ask any of these questions, at the bottom, it'll always tell you like just a random follow-up question about the data that you just asked. So play around with it. There's no right way to use this. It's more so you guys can dive deeper into the data without actually doing any work. That's the important piece. You can put in ES and Q on the same report, on different reports. It doesn't really matter, but you can really ask any type of questions you want. So I'll pull up your screen again, Sync. If anyone has questions, let me know. But yeah, you can really ask anything like these. The point is that as you have your charts open and you see, oh, well, I noticed that both of them, the low form first, and I'm curious, how often is the high break on those days where they both align? Go to Edgeful AI and just ask. And it's all connected to the Edgeful database. It's not some like it's not like scraping any random data, obviously. Like it's all connected to the data from the Edgeful database. So it's always curated based on how you like your customizations, your setups, like all the other things, like how far back you want to look. So you can pick the whole thing. But this is available to all Edgeful users, just so you guys know.
Zinc, with the model, what time do you start looking for trades? I'll start looking to get in. We need a retracement either way. So like 10:23 is the earliest I like to get in for New York session. Also depends on the size of the range, and that's a big component of front running it or getting it early. Yesterday, again, we had a 340-point range. Monday, we had a pretty huge range as well. I got in early on Monday. I got in at the 25% mark on SPY. And then we go and look at like Friday's example from last week. This was the range on Friday was half the size of the range that we had on Thursday last week. So that you're not going to trade those the same way. You're going to look for a little bit better of an entry on Friday for 50%. Thursday, you're probably not going to get that 50%. So it definitely depends on the size of the move that we have. Today is very, very small. Today's actually about half the range from yesterday so far. Still do have 11 minutes left, so there is time for this to do something, I suppose. Naked POC above tagged. Hopefully we don't reverse right back down again then. I don't want another Tuesday, please.
Unless there's a headline.
One of them's good enough for me.
Yeah, just by the way, an update, guys, on the giveaway. We have 11 minutes on the giveaway. So I know that there are a lot of people joining. So share. This is like kind of messy right now. Oh, we're getting a pretty strong push too.
Yeah, I'm not looking at it. Hopefully if I don't look, it comes back down.
Yeah. Hopefully, should I just drop off the stream and come back and see what happens?
Yeah, it immediately flashes to 50%.
Yeah. So if you guys are on YouTube, we're gonna give 5 people a free month of Edgeful. If you're on YouTube, this is only for YouTube. We're gonna clean this up over time. This is the first time we've done it. But comment Edgeful TV in one word, the exact way that you see it on the screen right now on YouTube, and you will automatically be entered to win 1 free month of Edgeful. 5 people are gonna win. So by the way, to be clear, if you're on Twitter, you're on Twitch, you're on wherever else, your comment will not be considered. You can only enter once, so you don't need to keep spamming it. But this is the first time we're doing it. We have 10 minutes until the giveaway is over. So just wanted to remind everyone, I know that there are new people in here, but I'll switch back to Zinc's screen now. We are going to figure out how to get that overlaid on the actual screen, like the screen share overall. Just kind of messy right now. So I don't want to have that up. Obviously, there's like way more important stuff to show.
We're going for a weekly high, 609.90.
We do have a report for that, actually.
Of course you do.
Of course we do, dude. Of course we do. And it's called,
what is it?
The opening week range. We have an indicator for it. And I'll explain how it works. I'll pull up my screen for a second. I'll explain how this works. And let me pull up my screen, share entire screen.
Oh, the guy on Twitch commented.
The person who's watching on Twitch, it will not count. You have to go to YouTube, just FYI. Sorry about that. We're obviously going to, in an ideal world, we don't have it only to one platform, but I just wanted to make that clear so you can get that.
I've seen that one guy on there for like the past several weeks. I thought it was just a bot. Honestly, I didn't think it was.
No, he's there. He's real. Good for him. All right. So we have an indicator on TradingView. Anyone with an Edgeful sub gets access to the indicators. We have 50 indicators now. The way to get access to them is right over here on your left sidebar. It says TradingView. You click on it. You put your TradingView username. You'll get access to the indicators. This is called the opening week range. This is really important. Pay attention for the next 30 seconds. I'm going to explain this pretty quickly. This report only takes and I need to go to the New York session here. This report will take the high and the low of only the New York session on Monday and Tuesday. If you want to understand a more detailed review of this report, scroll down. There's a perfect explainer with the perfect chart examples right over here on the chart. But what this is showing is that the high and the low, the combined high and low made on Monday and Tuesday, what it measures is how often does the rest of the week break one side of this combined high and low, both sides, which would be this, or neither side. So the way that this works, imagine the IB report, but instead of on the first hour of the New York session, it's for Monday and Tuesday. So it's the high and the low of Monday and Tuesday. And now you're checking the rest of the week. How often does price break one side, both sides, or neither side for the rest of the week? It's really important.
Son of a bitch, it's another IB.
Yeah, that's how it works. So think about it like that.
You think about it that way, there's really the IB everywhere.
There's the IB everywhere. Exactly. So you can see in the last 6 months, using the Monday and Tuesday range, the week from Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday has only broken both sides of this blue box 34% of the time, right? So 65% of the time, you are going to get a break of only one side. And 0 times in the last 6 months has price stayed within this range. So if you're a swing trader, or we're in this position right now, where is a very high probability target? Right over here. Why? Because you want to expect at least one side to break. Imagine it's the IB, but just on a higher time frame. And this is going to be that first break of the IB because 0 times in the last 6 months has price stayed within this range.
So I can use this like the inside bar stat.
Yep, it's just on a higher time frame. It's for the week.
Perfect.
So if anyone's interested in bookmarking this report, type it in the report drop down here. Just scroll down and find it, or you can just search opening week range is the name of the report. Click on this bookmark button. It'll get added to your bookmark bar. But you can also customize how many days you want to include. So you can do Monday alone. So you can use just the high and the low of Monday. You can do Monday and Tuesday, or you can do Monday and Wednesday. So if you click save on Monday and Wednesday, Monday through Wednesday, sorry, the indicator will also allow you to select Monday through Wednesday. Obviously, that's not going to work for today, but
just did it.
Yeah. It'll show you the difference. So I'm actually going to show you guys quickly the data for just Mondays. So if you take Monday's range, and what you can see is if you take just Monday's range, which is what this would look like, 65% of the time you do get a double break. So with that, and that's what's going to happen right now. So the Monday's range is right here. Tuesday breaks below, Wednesday's about to take the high. In this case, this is just the Monday range. So the opening range is just Monday here. 65% double break. It's just something to keep in mind. Where if Tuesday takes Monday's low, you probably want to expect it to take the other side.
Yep.
So I'll switch
SPY
back.
is not even close. Maybe we have a draw there, but Q's just went and took it. For your question on the IB, was the entry at 10:02? No. So the IB 50 moves up as the IB high moves up.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have entered at 10:02 because if we go back to the replay, go to 10:02, the IB 50 was all the way down at 6:05.
Dude, look at that indicator.
This was not, this was not the entry because the IB is still developing. That's way too early to get into it. We also had that data right there at 10. So that's what that wick down was. If we exit the replay now, you can see the IB 50 would have been an entry at 10:14, or it would have been an entry here. On the whole way up, it would have been a new entry. So you got to wait. No pullback whatsoever. We could take a little long to that high, 688.59. That's the weekly high for SPY. Definitely not going to go and take out 670 first. I wouldn't imagine.
Dude,
VIX
what a run here.
I know, this is crazy.
This is crazy.
I had the arrow drawn there. I was looking for 690.90, just no entry model on it. It is really difficult to try and get an entry when we have the IB's 1.12% now. You can thank the VIX. Thanks to VIX. It is really difficult to get an entry on the IB when you have data points at 9:45 and 10.
Yep.
Not really. Obviously, all in hindsight, right now, we could have gotten an entry here, or we could have gotten an entry at 10:05, or we could have gotten an entry at 10:10. That's with us knowing what the data reported. We could have just as easily free fell with bad data, or something else could have happened that we pushed to the downside. So you can't be a hindsight trader because everyone's perfect at that. But don't try to predict the data. I did it too with 750 of blowing my funded. Oh well. Sorry about that, rather be.
We got a lot of people joining this this giveaway.
Yeah. This is what I was talking about with you and Bean earlier. Is you can see how many people join right at just about 10:30.
Let's get that pullback now. Maybe I should drop off the stream.
Oh, it's at a hot
get
air
that
balloon right now.
And then join back on the stream. Perhaps.
I am not touching this if it's 5 cents away from the IB high again.
The risk reward is like
I learned my lesson yesterday. If it so help me, if this repeats what it did yesterday, I'm renouncing the IB. Never trading it again.
Oh, look at that. The sweet day for the Orb 15-minute algo on MNQ. Awesome. Very happy to hear that. Yeah, today's a perfect day for the Orb algo. Yeah, this is tough right now to trade.
Surprisingly, I didn't expect this to happen, but we did end up getting the gap fill on SPY. So this fulfilled its stat for the 0.0 to 0.19.
Yep.
And Q's, because of the size of the gap, also fulfilled 65% chance of not filling it.
Oh, wow. Q's had a way bigger gap. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's why I was we already broke the IB, by the way, on both of them. 10:30:01.
Yeah, that's the worst.
IB broke. So I wish this happened yesterday, because then I wouldn't have been in shorts.
Yeah.
All I had to do was go and wick to it, and I would have avoided that whole day. But on the good note, good news, back-to-back days of this happening with the IB not being all that good, but we had a very good trade for the Globex IB. So even though there's not a whole lot on the table for us to take with the IB today, Globex covered that going into New York Open. So definitely a new parameter to add on to trading the IB, or just a new set of wins to add. Giveaway time. It is giveaway time.
Yeah, it's picking the winner right now. To be honest, I'm not sure exactly how this is going to work. All right, there's one. This is automatic. Obviously, I don't know how this is like randomly selected.
I picked that one.
Dude, why would you say that? Now we're gonna get so much backlash.
I did not pick that one.
The AI does it automatically continue? All right. Well,
rigged.
Okay, well, let's just leave it for a second.
No entry on the IB today, Julian. IB already broke. I make millions in hindsight. Still no pullback. This is cray-cray. It is.
Is this going to continue? Like, is it going to pick other people?
I don't know.
Oh, God. Okay. All right. While this goes, we should pull your screen back up just so we can not leave this up. But I will figure this out right now. Oh, there he is. Okay, he saw it.
Yep.
Great. Really, at least he responded. Sometimes people will win giveaways and not even see it. Just give me 1 second.
Sorry, I barely heard you, Freedom Trader. What did you say? Yep. Sorry about that. Oh, for the Lucid 50K? Yeah, just keep. So you have 1241 left to make before you can get the payout. So just keep trading the same way. No pullback on the IB, even though this is now pulling back. The IB already broke, so we have no draw to the upside. The only level that we have to the upside is going to be 688.62.
ES hasn't broken it. Did SPY break it?
Yeah.
Oh. Wow.
MES broke. ES is the only one that's not broken. That, interesting enough, ES, I have noticed, is probably one of the more slippy indexes to trade. It's had, for the Globex IB especially, it's had the past 2 days this broke in the opposite direction as it was what it was supposed to. So ES, maybe it's something to do with the volume that comes in on ES. I probably wouldn't trade it on ES, even though, I mean, you still have 10 points you could capitalize on, then it goes to the IB, but the rest of these have already broken. SPY, ES, SPY, QQQ, MNQ, MES have already broken. That's the high right there on MNQ. MES took it by 1/2 a point. ES is the only one that's still intact. MNQ did break. MNQ's IB high was 141, hit 147. QQQ broke. Or are the probability stats for Globex on Wednesday night? Go ahead, Andre.
So I'm going to redraw the winners. So I'm just going to have to click it 5 times or 4 more times. So I'm going to share my screen. We're going to do this. 5 people total are going to get a free month. So I have it here. Okay. Never mind. We have our team looking at this in the back. I'm going to pause on this for a second so our team can figure this out. Just let's continue the stream. Never mind.
I think it'd be a little risky to take it on SPY. If you were to take an entry, though, I do like longs up to 688, just covering that weekly high. So that report you just went over, Andre, that would still be our draw, 688.67.
Yeah. By the way, guys, sorry for the confusion on this giveaway thing. This is the first time we're doing it. I promise you next time it will be a lot better. Yeah. So I'm 0 for 2 now on these streams, huh?
This one still won.
This one is.
I wasn't overly eager to trade it anyway. I'm already up 450 from last night. Could definitely take a 1-to-1 risk reward because ES hasn't taken it yet. I know that's going to be a small draw if you wanted to capitalize on 10 points right now. I think the overall draw would be going up to Monday's high. You could also slap on the standard deviations. Let's see what our odds are. So we have the IB range today on SPY is almost 1%. That is insane. So IB by levels, customize. We'll go over to SPY, custom. I didn't realize you add so many different levels for us to mark out here. Goes all the way to like 5% now.
Yeah.
So this is a 0.97 range. I'll just refine it to 1. And we'll do for a Wednesday, a breakout on a Wednesday. See how many. Probably refining it too much, but it's okay. So our odds on continuing. First off, we haven't even had a data point in the past 6 months that's had this large of a day with a breakout. Let's go to 2 years then, see what that gives us, if that gives us any odds anyway. I doubt we're probably going to go up to half standard deviation. If we did today, then that would be another substantial 0.5% move up on Qs and SPY. Over the past 2 years, we haven't even had that large of a range on SPY. Let me remove the upper limit. I'm going to put it at like 2%. Just maybe I refined it down too much. Let's see. See, now if this had happened yesterday, if we had barely swept the IB, then I wouldn't have taken any of those losses. But of course, it had to be mean like that and not do it. So over the past 2 years, we've had 3 instances where the IB has been this large of a range, 1 to 2%. And 2 out of those 3 have gone to 1 full standard deviation. So I guess it's a pretty good chance we go up to half. And that would also line up somewhat with that 688.65 level hitting. Be about a 16-point risk reward to retest that IB high. That would be on ES because ES hasn't taken it yet. But I'm not going to be running into this. IB not good once again today. I wouldn't say it's not good. It just didn't end up winning today. You can take the screen back over if you want. I saw that you picked someone.
I didn't pick it. I didn't pick someone else yet, but we're figuring it out.
Okay. How is Lucid for mobile trading? I don't trade mobile Trade-Evate. I think that would be actual hell.
Honestly, the Ninja Trader app is the Ninja. If you are going to do it, to be honest, the Ninja Trader app is way infinitely better than the Trade-Evate one. I don't even know how people use the Trade-Evate app to trade on mobile. The Ninja Trader app, you can log into the same credentials because Ninja Trader owns Trade-Evate. And the Ninja Trader app is way better. Just FYI.
Yeah, I tried Trade-Evate once on mobile, and
I don't know how it works. But
no,
the Ninja Trader app is good.
TradeC has a mobile app. TradeC is in beta, and they've had a lot of issues with slippage recently. Like even Turret Buddy in here yesterday said he had 80 points of slippage yesterday.
Whoa.
But TradeC is as early as it can get into its beta. So
we do have our second winner. There's a comment on the YouTube. Please check out the comment on the YouTube.
Nice.
TFS-U5N is the second winner. Please click that link. We're going to be doing it this way, so we are going to pick 5 winners, but they're going to be over here in the comments of the YouTube.
I've tried doing that and working on that with Andre.
What is it?
Adding the IB50 report before it's breaking, the high or low.
Okay.
It's a difficult measure.
It is a difficult measure, but so here's the thing. Before the break, I'm going to pull up my screen quick.
I'm kind of tempted to go long right now, and yes.
Looking for the break?
MES, sorry, that's the IB by retracement back in.
All right, so let's look at I'll actually just do this. We'll look at the IB, one sec.
20 points back up. I'm gonna give it a try. Why not?
All right, you want to pull up your screen quick while you do that, or?
No, it's okay.
All right.
I went long at 6.8, 6.7. I'm gonna put I'll slap a 10-point stop on it.
All right.
20-point reward, 10-point stop.
So I'm
Just one MES.
I'm gonna pull this comment back up. IB50 before breaking the high. All right. On this day, this is NQ. This is on a 5-minute chart. We have the IB is formed. Obviously, the low is formed first, the high is formed second. And now it didn't get to the 50, which is one thing. So like this day would be ignored, technically. Now it opened the IB, or technically the IB closed, or the IB formed, and price was above this 50. Now, what happens if, I'm trying to find an example here. What happens if price just does something like this? So the low forms first, the high forms second, and then the IB closes down here. So if the IB closes below the 50, what do we do? Because the low formed first, which is bullish, but the IB closed already below it. So does that count as a retrace of the 50? But if it's already below the 50, should we count it? Should we not count it? Like, what are we doing there? One second.
They might also be in my YouTube stream too. So they might not see the tag that they won.
One sec, sorry.
Oh, good. I'm going off I don't usually do this, but the IB by retracement is the report I was looking at.
The IB by retracement, very importantly. One sec, I just need to send this message quick.
I'm not looking too good right now. Well, I'm risking $50 on it, so it's not the actual IB trade that I would have taken. I have a 10-point risk on this, but it is almost retraced back down to 50%.
All right. The IB by retracement only starts after the first break, just so you know. That's really important.
Okay.
Because the first break determines the direction of the retracement levels.
Yep.
So if it doesn't break out, it technically can't retrace because you're not measuring from a certain point. Does that make sense? So like for example,
I'm looking at it on SPY because SPY is already broken out.
Okay, perfect. All right.
So I'm not looking at ES, I'm looking at SPY.
Okay, great. Just so everyone knows, and obviously we have it in the explainer of the report. Right down here is a full explanation, but technically on this day, this was yesterday, this is like the annoying day. It's not like the retracement doesn't start this way. Like it's not going this way. Like the retracement is actually from here down because price broke out of the IB at this point and then started to pull back. You need the first break out of the IB to determine the retracement directions, because if it doesn't break out, then you're at like 75% of retracement, but like from where? From the high or the low. So like that's one of the reasons why we can't do that.
Yeah.
But relating to, and by the way, we have another winner here. Just so you guys know, please check the comments from the official Edgeful YouTube account for the winners of the giveaway. 5 people are getting a free month. We have 4 now total. So we only have 1 more left. But the IB50 before the break, I'm curious how you guys would handle a situation like this. So the low forms first, the high forms second. Obviously, the entry at the IB50 would be here, right? But if the IB ends below that point, should we count that as a retracement to the 50? I mean, like, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Because it's already below. So it's a little bit like sketchy. Are we only going to take the days where the low form is first, the high form second, and then the IB has to close between the midpoint and the high? And then we check for a retracement? And then also there are going to be days where it doesn't touch the midpoint. Those days are also obviously not going to count.
Yeah. I had yesterday, last night on that Globex IB closed below the midpoint, and I had 2 people that were trying to say that drastically invalidates how you would take the trade, but it still ended up going and breaking the high. So I mean, you have 2 great examples from yesterday. You have the same Tuesday metric where it opened way below that IB right here, the IB 50. This opened about as close to the low as it could have been, and it still ended up going and taking the high. So it's not really
so rare too, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that significant of a data point to add, because on the same note, this is technically no different than if it had closed at 595.54, right? It's just measuring if it's above or below the midpoint.
So repeat that.
This candle for the midpoint of the IB, it was at 595.65.
Yep.
If it closes below the midpoint, that's no different than having price close at 592 or having it close at 595.
Exactly. Yes. Correct. There's no difference.
So that it's a difficult added measure to have, because it's so much wiggle room for it to have a pivot up or down. I'm also swapping $3 on this right now. Let's see if I can get a nice little 20-point push right back up on SPY. Congratulations to all the giveaway winners, by the way.
Yeah, so 5 people won a free month. So that's great. I'm really happy. We will clean this process up. We did pick the winners, or they're randomly selected, to be very clear. I
did not pick them.
Nobody picked the winners, randomly selected. So that's just so it's clear. But for the
what's up, James?
Oh, James is here.
Yo,
what's up?
Hello.
Yeah.
Journey to Profits. If you scroll up in the chat, you'll see all of the winners that were randomly selected. I don't know anyone's YouTube username, so I'm not. You can't just be like, oh, he picked winners. I don't know people's YouTube username. So
if Zig picked, I would win.
But even for the IB, if you can curate, if you can kind of refine how, like just touching on that, on the wiggle room is being really big.
Mm-hmm.
So from the midpoint to the low, yes, that is a big range. But even if you were to be able to cut that down, like what we could technically do it, we just set the threshold at like the halfway point. We could do like if it opens within like this, like the bottom 75%, or between the 75 and the 50, or between the 50 and the 25, or the 25 and the 0. We could technically do that. I don't see why we couldn't do that. It's just gonna be a little bit confusing, because I'll look into it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
I don't know how much it would help. I mean, the IB alone is already working perfectly fine.
Yeah.
So I have an interesting topic for you, for the 2 of you. What's going on, James? How's your day?
All good, bro. I'm still flat. I'm gonna stay longs on the Nasdaq, but
I just took longs right now to the
nice. Yeah,
a little retracement up.
I thought you would be in the longs. Yeah.
So I stumbled upon this yesterday. It grabbed my attention. So I'm on TikTok was streaming about Bitcoin and AI and how AI is going to swamp Bitcoin. Do you think in the next like 4 years, Bitcoin's still going to be below 100,000?
For me, absolutely not.
Exactly. That's all I needed to hear.
I think absolutely not.
His point was saying that AI is getting so developed that they're going to go and mine out the remaining Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's going to swamp down to like 20,000. But if it mined all the remaining Bitcoin, wouldn't that push Bitcoin to really an infinite price, because there's no more Bitcoin to go and mine?
I don't know if you can do that. I think there has to be like a certain, like, it's a process, like because even if you, and by the way, I see the comments, we can't see the winners. If you guys scroll up in the chat on YouTube, you'll be able to see the winners in the chat on YouTube. So for anyone, again, who entered, just scroll up in the chat, you'll see the winners. The winners were sent by the official Edgeful YouTube account. But I don't know if you can just like rapid speed do it, because also every time there's like a Bitcoin halving, each time you mine, you get less and less Bitcoin. That's why I think like the projection was to like 100 years until all 21 million are mined. I'll look it up actually.
Anyway, I don't fast forward another 4 years, Bitcoin is not going to be sitting at the 70,000 it's at right now.
I agree. I fully agree.
So if you have any worry about, like, I've been buying quite a bit of MSTR and MSTX.
Let's just say one thing to protect everyone here: not financial advice.
Yeah.
Do your own research.
Just discussion.
Just education. Not financial advice. Let's make that extremely clear.
You can put on your Claude bot. I did like your little segment talking about how not the average person does not need to go out and buy a Claude bot and become a millionaire off of that.
Dude, it's actually the biggest nonsense of all time.
Because what, they're like $10,000, right?
Well, you can get like a crazy computer. You don't need to get a crazy computer you don't need it, but like a lot of people are saying like, oh, I need this like supercomputer to run it, which you absolutely do not. But also the other thing is, just relating to ClaudeBot in general, the more valuable, the only way to make it very useful to you is to give it all of your information, your emails, your calendar, your Slack, your connections to all of your other platforms, right? So that's, if it has access to all that, it'd be very useful. Mm-hmm. The other side of that is the more access you give it, the more dangerous it becomes. Because wow, you're getting a pretty nice push here, Zink.
What?
You're getting a nice push on the ES. But
nice.
The more access you give it, the more risky it becomes.
I'll take my 50.
And also, beautiful.
Nice.
What a trade. We did get a trade today, and it was a winner, so my bad streak is gone now.
Yeah, I did that for you.
Yeah, good. Thank you. But then you tell the ClaudeBot to go improve itself, right? So it's going to go and learn online about different things that are useful to you, and it's going to go and learn skill. It's going to go and try to like take skills and different things from Reddit threads or wherever else. And people, unfortunately, also have malicious intent to where it's called like a prompt injection. They pretty much like hide secret, whatever things, not to get into like the details. They hide secret things in these skills, and they pretty much can like hack into your ClaudeBot. And your ClaudeBot is like autonomously going and like adding these things to itself. And if it doesn't realize that something that it's adding to itself has like, call it a virus in it, all of your information is now given to someone else. Your potentially your credit cards, your bank accounts, your whatever else, like whatever's on that device, on that computer, your ClaudeBot has access to. And if someone gets it, they have now access to everything else.
You're stuffed, yeah.
It's really not useful to most people. Like, I don't know of anyone who has been like successfully using ClaudeBot specifically, not Claude Code, not Claude Cowork, but ClaudeBot to like have an impact. Like I don't see anyone who's been like, yeah, I built this platform or I did this thing, or my ClaudeBot is like, yeah, you're having it make a daily review for you, like a daily brief. You're having it scan the news. Like, that's useless. Like, you're buying like $1,000 computer and setting this up and spending I don't know how much money on API tokens for like a daily review. It sounds like complete nonsense to me. I tried it. I bought a Mac Mini for it. I bought a Mac Mini. I spent like a week trying to like set it up, and I was like, this is completely useless. It's a very powerful platform. It's a very powerful software, ClaudeBot, but it's just like, I don't have a use case for it. Like, I don't know what.
Yeah.
Like what to use.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Probably another reason I just took that trade too is because ES didn't actually go and take the high. So it is a very small draw on both ES and MES.
Wow, absolutely sniped those longs there.
Yeah, I don't think I could have gotten any closer to the bottom of that.
Yeah.
Almost booked me out. I think it was down like $25, but I should have gone in with 2 MES. That's okay. Not too shabby for a trade that I did not take off the IB. It was just a retracement. Lovely IB 25 trade. Thank you, Dan.
Yeah, it's wild day so far. No real entries up until Zinc.
Anything on the CFDs, James? Anything you're looking for?
No, nothing for me so far. As I said, my algo took the long, but yeah, nothing at the minute.
Gotcha.
Yeah, James is lucky because he can risk whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Because of the way that the CFDs work, which I'm like, that's awesome.
Wow.
So
Speaking of Bitcoin, sorry, go ahead.
No, go. What's going on?
8.5% today.
Good.
Good
yeah, again,
Lord.
guys, not financial advice, obviously, but I don't think Bitcoin will be below 100K much longer. And I feel like, I don't know.
Finally having a green day on MSTX. Good Lord.
Why? I don't know how much, if you did a lot of research or if you didn't, but for MSTR, are you just looking for a levered Bitcoin play?
Yeah. So I don't think that there's really that much benefit to going and buying a Bitcoin at 70,000. And then you're going to ride it up to like 100. It's still a very good return regardless, but it's not the same as if you were to buy it at 20,000 or if you buy it at 12,000. So I have MSTX because that's technically 4x leveraged on Bitcoin. And I didn't buy it at, I'm still down a shit ton of money on it, but I didn't buy it when it was trading at like 49 to 30. I bought it when I started buying it when I was at 11. Yeah. It's down to 290 now. But I've been adding each week because I know Bitcoin's not going to be remaining at this level.
Dude, I agree.
So I think it's a better return on my investment yes, it's a lot riskier, but on the same note, I don't really have that much downside to the position because it's trading in the twos, just about to be at threes.
Yeah.
Also, looks like we just barely missed that full TP. So I could have held it for another $50, but still a very good entry on that retracement down. ES is about to go and take that high as well.
Beautiful.
Oh, so yeah, just Tesla's up 3.5%, bro.
And almost did it again.
Yeah, it's probably going to break that high. So what I was showing you guys with the Edgeful AI before, on the days where they both align. Also, I tried to ask it for average. Zinc, you were talking about average IB sizes before. I'll pull up my screen quick.
There's the high on ES, by the way.
The formatting got a little bit messed up here, but pretty much the average IB on ES across all days and NQ is 178 points on NQ, 28 points on ES, or, which I always recommend going based on percentages, not based on points, but 0.7% on NQ and 0.4% on ES for the average IB sizes. So you can also ask things like that. What are the average sizes? What are the average sizes? How do they change by weekday? So you can pretty much ask like anything. Oh, yeah, here. So yeah, but there is the break of the IB high on ES. And for anyone who has an Edgeful sub, by the way, you have access to this IB indicator, and the IB indicator has all of the sizes in points, in percentage, automatically plotted for you. It has whether the high or low was formed first. So I'll make this a lot bigger, but you can see here So you can see here, here's all the stuff that you can include in the indicator. You don't have to have everything. I personally don't have everything. But if you know that you don't like to trade IBs, like what Zinc was talking about before, above a certain percentage, you can change, you can remove it or whatever. This is just a very easy way to see like what's going on. It'll show you the distance from the high, distance from the low, whether the high or low is broken, which side formed first. So you'll have this, you can just have it pretty small, honestly.
Yep.
You can have it pretty small, and it really doesn't take up too much room, but you do get a little quick view of the IB stats. And if you guys have any requests to add anything to this, just send us a message over here and we'll look into it. We're not going to guarantee any like time on how quickly we're going to do this, because we do get a lot of requests. So it does take a lot of effort to build out these reports or the indicators or whatever else. So I don't want to say that you guys are going to get like your report built in 2 days or your indicator built in 2 days, because that's not going to be the case, just to be honest. But yeah, so I'll pull up your screen again, Zinc.
That was a beautiful long.
Yeah, it was a beautiful long.
Did you take the longs as well, Andre?
No.
Ah.
Well, Zinc was taking it. You said you were taking it because SPY broke the high, ES didn't break the high?
Yep.
Yeah.
So we did have, I took it on the retracement down. That was a good strong red candle to get in, and ES still had that high intact. So it did technically have a little draw. My overall draw for today, that stat you covered there for a little bit, 688.62, the high from Monday. So that's the weekly open range.
Yeah, opening week range is the report.
Yep.
So for anyone who just joined, just scroll back. You'll see me talk about the opening week range report. I highly recommend you guys check it out. It's a higher time frame report that you can use every single week. I personally recommend using it with the Monday and Tuesday customization. You can do whichever ones you want. You can do Monday alone, you can do Monday and Tuesday, or you can do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Monday and Tuesday are good because it really gives you the opportunity to take those trades Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And the stats are pretty strong. I think it's 65% to break one side, and it's also 100% break of any kind. So that's important. So yeah.
Very nice. Now the IB is officially done, so I wouldn't have any draws or re-entries or anything.
Yeah.
Oh, Bitcoin is still going.
Good.
Jeez.
Great. I'm not complaining.
Trailed the IB high full out now. There you go, Dan. Very good.
Yeah, so yeah, Zinc, I don't know if you know, but I'm gonna be joining streams with I think Bean put in the chat, but I'm gonna be joining streams going forward.
Yeah, not tomorrow too.
Yeah. Tomorrow I've got to make friends with Trump so I can get invited to the States. But yeah, I'll be on from Friday on next week fully. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And we could wrap this up here for today.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh shoot!
Yeah, solid trade, bro. Nice.
Thank you. Yeah, at least I got a little something out. So again, I want to cover this real quick before we leave. These Lucid accounts, probably, if you guys are interested, these are probably the best ones in the space right now for payout prospects or the ability to get payouts. 3 days to get a payout from when you start the account, and it's not instant fund or anything. It's $90 for the accounts. The only thing you have to reach $250 profit goal and 40% consistency. That's it. But that will do it for the stream today. We got a nice little win on the IB retracement down because SPY didn't take it. Nothing else from me. If you guys have anything.
No,
I'm good.
Oh,
I hope, just so everyone knows, next week this giveaway process will be a lot cleaner. I know it was pretty messy today, but yeah, that's it. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I opened the chat. There's like 60 messages from the team in the live.
I know. It was a little bit messy, but we'll figure it out next time. Also, just as a reminder, if you guys are curious about anything relating to the data or like any questions you have relating to the data, just go to Edgeful AI, connect the reports, ask any questions, just play with it. Kind of get used to it, ask questions similar to how I did today. You guys can rewind the stream and see how I was asking those questions. But otherwise, I don't have anything else.
I just saw the chat. Holy smokes, there was a lot of 58. All right. Have a good rest of your day. We'll see you guys tomorrow, same time.
All right, guys.
Cheers, guys.